Hello, today we are going to deal with timer programming. In the last class I had said that the timers are those circuits which are going to be used to generate the precise delay, or it can be used as a counter in order to count the external events. So I was saying that we'll go for the timer programming wherein it is going to generate the delay. Whenever the microcontroller wants to generate a delay, it's going to take the help of the timer which is inbuilt in it, wherein the timer is going to count the internal clock pulses. The timer is going to count the internal clock pulses in order to generate the delay. So whenever we want to generate a required time delay, then the clock pulses are going to be counted according to the required delay. So that means that the clock pulse duration is going to play a very important role. So how we are going to calculate the time of the clock, right, or whatever the clock source which is available, what is the frequency of that and what's the time period of that one, we are going to see it first, and then we are going to go for the timer programming. So the clock source, that is nothing but, you can say this as the machine cycle frequency or the machine cycle period. Here, at least since it is connected with the timer programming, I am going to say that the clock frequency for the timer, the clock pulses. If you remember the block diagram which I have said in the previous class, to the AND gate, one of the input is the pulses, So the frequency of that particular pulse is going to play a very important role. So here the clock frequency which is available for the timer, it is going to be calculated as given crystal frequency will be divided by 12. Why we are going to divide it by 12? We have said that in the previous class only. That is, one machine cycle is going to have 6 T states, and each T state is going to have 2 pulses. Okay. So that's why the given crystal frequency is going to be divided by 12. Say for example, we can take the crystal frequency from 1 megahertz to 16 megahertz. I have taken a typical example over here. Let the crystal frequency be equal to 11.0592 megahertz. Okay, so the given crystal frequency should be divided by 12. So I am going to get a frequency which is equal to 921.6 kilohertz, which is nothing but the clock frequency, or the machine cycle frequency. If I take the reciprocal of this particular frequency, then I am going to get the period. Right, so that period is equal to how much? It is equal to 1.085 microseconds. 1.085 microseconds. Usually in the question paper, if they don't give the crystal frequency, and if they have asked to calculate the time delay produced by so and so timer or whatever it is, then you have to take by default the crystal frequency which should be equal to 11.0592 megahertz. Suppose if they want to give some other crystal frequency, then they are going to specify in the question paper that the crystal frequency is so and so, 12 megahertz, 16 megahertz or whatever it is. They are going to give that particular value. If they don't give the value, then you have to assume the crystal frequency to be equal to 11.0592 megahertz, wherein the value of the clock frequency is equal to 921.6 kilohertz and the period is equal to 1.085 microseconds. That means if I say any instruction is going to take one machine cycle to get executed. What is machine cycle? It is the minimum time period which is required for an instruction to get executed, isn't it? That means if I say move A, R1, it's an instruction which is going to take one machine cycle. That means assuming that the crystal frequency is equal to 11.0592 megahertz, it's going to take 1.085 microseconds. One machine cycle ತಗೋತದೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅದು 1.085 microseconds. It is so fast. 1.085 microseconds. That is why we are going to say it as a microcontroller. The size is small, but it is going to do the thing in the powers of 10 to the power of minus 6. It is going to take such a small time period. That's why we are going to say microcontroller. Okay. right? So this is going to be the clock period. You have to remember this particular value because you are going to take this value in order to calculate the delay which is going to be produced using the timers, So we know that 8051 is having two timers, timer 0 and timer 1. Timer 0 and timer 1, they are going to be associated with some special function registers. What are those? TL0, TH0, wherein they are going to allow the user to load the count in it, right? In order to generate the delay, depending upon the delay, we are going to load the count. Similarly, timer 1 is going to have TL1 and TH1, wherein together we say that it's going to have two 16-bit registers which is made up of two 8-bit registers, okay? And then apart from that, in order to select the mode, we are going to use the special function register, that is T mod. And in order to start the timer, in order to stop the timer, right, in order to select the the gate control and all, we are going to use the TCON register, right? So in the TCON register, you're going to have the flags, wherein the flags are going to indicate the status of the timer operation, whether the operation is going on or whether it has finished its operation, whether it has reached the maximum count and whether the rollover has taken place or no. You're going to have the flags bit in it, and you are going to have the start and the stop bits which are connected to the timer, and the lower nibble in the TCON register is having the interrupt control bits. The interrupt flags are going to be there, and the trigger we can select over there. When does the microcontroller should identify that the interrupt is there to the microcontroller. So this is going to be the thing, and this is about the clock source. Now let me take an example. Suppose if the given crystal frequency, is equal to 12 megahertz. ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ crystal frequency should be divided by 12. So what I'm going to get, the frequency will be equal to 1 megahertz. It's equal to 1 megahertz. And what will be the clock period? Take the reciprocal of that. You're going to get the clock period, that is 1 divided by 1 megahertz. It is equal to 1 microsecond. So this is how you're going to calculate. The given crystal frequency should be divided by 12 in order to get the clock frequency and in order to get the clock period. The same frequency is for the machine cycle and the same period is going to be for the machine cycle period. You should note this one. Mode 0 programming, we know that in T-mod register, we are having the bit pattern like this: G, C/T bar, M1, M0. Say the upper nibble and the lower nibble are going to have the same bit pattern. Lower nibble is for timer 0 and upper nibble is for timer 1. Right? So let me take timer 0. There is no compulsion that you have to take timer 0. Any timer you can select. Okay, so here the heading which I have given is mode 0. So in order to select the mode 0 programming, I have to take M1, M0 to be equal to 0, 0. If you are taking timer 0, then write in the lower nibble M1, M0, you have to write 0, 0. Okay, I have written 0, 0 over here. And the timer programming we are doing, so for timer, this one should be equal to 0 because C/T bar, if I write over here a high, then it is going to be the counter operation. If I write a 0, then it is going to be the timer operation. And here I want the software control method in order to start the timer and in order to stop the timer. I mean that by using the instruction, I want to start the timer operation, and by using the instruction, I want to stop the timer operation. So for which the gate should be equal to 0. Okay, so that means that select the bit pattern, the first step. These are the steps which are going to say about how you are going to write the program for mode 0, the programming steps over here. So in the T-mod register, you have to write, say, 00 hex. Okay, so the first step in your program, is that you are going to load the tmod with the required bit pattern, whatever they have specified. Accordingly you have to write, wherein G will be always equal to 0. If it is counter, you have to write 1. If it is timer, you have to write it as 0. And what mode they have selected, accordingly you have to write 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so I have loaded over here, since it is mode 0, T mod is equal to 0, 0. Coming on to the next one, load TLX, THX. X can take up the value either 0 or 1. It can take up the value 0 or 1. Okay, load any value. Mode 0, if you remember, mode 0, it is a 13-bit timer. It is a 13-bit timer. What does it mean? It can start from 0 and it is going to end at 1F FF. The maximum count is going to be 1F FF. So you have to load the value which should be less than 1F FF. Greater the value, smaller will be the delay. Greater the value loaded in TL and TH, the smaller will be the delay, because it is going to have the up counting. It's going to have the up counting. If you load very small value in TL and TH, then to reach the maximum count 1F FF hex, then it's going to take much larger clock pulses. Okay, according to the requirement, you can load the value in TL and TH. Lower byte will be loaded in TL and higher byte will be loaded in the TH. If you have selected timer 0, then X is going to take up 0, 0. If you have taken timer 1, then you have to write over here 1, 1, TL1 and TH1. Okay, after loading the value in TL and TH, you are supposed to start the timer. How you are going to start the timer? Just by writing set the bit TRX. Set the bit TRX. Where is TRX bit? It is in the TCON register. It is in the timer control special function register. TRX. Since you are having two timers, timer 0 and timer 1, you are going to have two bits which are reserved for timer 0 start operation and timer 1 start operation. So if you have taken over here X00, then you are supposed to take over here TR0. Set the bit TR0, meaning that it is going to start the timer. Okay, so then what's going to happen? As and when the clock pulses comes, the counting begins. The counting begins. So when we start the timer, what will be the user will be doing? What will be the programmer will do? The programmer has to watch the flag, doing nothing. It has to watch the flag. The microcontroller or the user has to watch the flag till it gets a set. Where is this particular flag? The flag, again, it is there in the TCON register. TF X. X ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೋತೀರಿ ಅದೇ X ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಕೂಡಬೇಕು. Right, when the operation is going on, when the counting is going on, TFX will have a value which will be equal to 0. So when we read a 0, it means that the counting is still going on. The internal clock pulses are still being counted. Right? So with the pulse, what's going to happen? The counting, up counting goes on and it reaches the maximum value 1F FF because mode 0. Right? 1F FF. Then with the next pulse, what's going to happen? After the maximum count, when a next pulse comes, it is going to roll over. It becomes 0, 0. Andre TL matte TH dolaga count ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ 0, 0 ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದು 0, 0 ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅವಾಗ ಈ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Right? Once it gets set, it means that we have generated the required delay. So we have to stop the timer. So how we are going to stop the timer? Just by writing the instruction clear the bit yaudu TRX. It is nothing but stop the timer. It is going to stop the timer. And now the flag which has got set, it should be cleared by the user. It is going to be cleared by the user. The same flag we are going to use it as an interrupt. I am going to discuss it in the interrupt programming. There it will be set by the machine. It will be set by the machine and it will be cleared by the machine. But here it is set by the machine. It is set by the machine, but the user, the programmer has to clear it. So clear, that means the flag should be made equal to 0. So if it is made equal to 0, then again to repeat the operation if it is possible, or else always it's going to read a 1 saying that it has reached the maximum value. So compulsorily you have to clear the timer flag. And if you want to repeat the same process, then again you have to go back to reload the initial value to generate the same delay. TL ಮತ್ತೆ TH ದೊಳಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೊದಲು ಏನು ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, TL ಮತ್ತೆ TH ದೊಳಗೆ 0 0 ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದ ಟೈಮರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, 0 ಇಂದ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 0 0. ಸೊ ಕೇರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು reload the initial value in TL and TH. So let me write the assembly language program for the same. So the steps remain. If you remember, you can write very easily the program. Okay. So let me write over here the program, which is very easy. Just remember the steps what are there in mode 0 programming. Okay. So here whenever I want to write any program, the first one is the directive which I am going to write, org00hex. It is origin, it's a directive, it's a pseudo instruction. That means that it does not occupy any memory location, any memory it does not occupy, but it is going to say that from where, which address the program has been written in the program memory. 00hex ninda baliyatini anta nangartha. So what is the first step? You have to load in the tmod register. So the very first step, move in the tmod register what you are going to load 00hex. 00hex. It all depends. Okay. 00hex. How 00? Just now I have explained in the previous one. Okay. Move tmod with 00 and then I am going to load. Let me take timer 0. TL0 with a value. Say for example F0 hex. F0 hex. So here since the number is beginning from an alphabet, I have to precede it with a 0. Then let me write the higher byte in the TH0. Say that is 1F hex. That means what count I have loaded in TH and TL. The higher byte is 1F. The lower byte is F0. That means I have loaded 1F F0. This is the count which I have loaded in the TH and TL. Okay. Then after loading the count, what you have to do? You have to start the timer. So how you are going to start the timer? Set the bit TR0 starts the timer. So timer ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಕೌಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. 1F F1 F2 F3 F4 ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟದ ಮೋಡ್ 0 ದೊಳಗೆ 1F FF. So it's going to reach over there. So when the counting is going on, what the user should do, what the microcontroller should do, it should watch the flag. So how you are going to watch the flag? You are going to use the conditional jump instruction. Jump if the bit is not set. Jump if the bit is not set. Jump if the bit is not set. ಯಾವ ಬಿಟ್ಟು? TF0. TF0 ಇದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತ ಕೂಡಬೇಕು. So I am going to write over here comma the label, and the label I am going to write over here. Okay. So jump if the bit yaudu TF0 is not set. If the condition is satisfied, that means if it is 0, then it is going to jump to the label here. That means it is going to keep here only watching this particular flag till it gets set. Yavaga set ಆಗ್ತದೆ 1F FF ಆಗಿ next clock pulse ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ roll over ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣನೇ flag set ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Flag set ಆಗೋಣ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You have to stop the timer. And you have to clear the timer flag TF0. And if you want to repeat, go back SJMP, say back. It's a unconditional jump. Yelli barbekre back. It should come over here to reload the value in TL and TH. Okay. So this is going to be mode 0 programming. What will be changed in mode 1 programming? In mode 1 programming, you are going to make this M1 M0, which is there in the tmod register, as equal to 0 1, and the maximum count is going to be FF FF, because mode 1 programming is a 16-bit timer which is going to generate the maximum delay. If I want to generate the larger delay, then I am going to go for mode 1. Mode 0 is going to generate the delay lesser than the mode 1. So that is going to be the only change between the mode 0 and mode 1 programming. So while writing the answer, you should be careful enough. If it is mode 0, then the mode 1 select bits will be 0 1. Mode 0 select bits will be 0 0. So you have to select accordingly, and only the change is that you are when you write the maximum count in mode 0, it should be 1F FF, and in mode 1 it should be FF FF. The programming steps, everything else remains the same. This is going to be the assembly language program for mode 0 or mode 1 programming. Okay, now with the help of this particular program, we'll calculate how much delay will be produced with the help of this particular count, whatever we have loaded in TH and TL. Okay, so remember the count, what I have loaded in TH and TL, I have loaded 1F F0. How to calculate the delay produced by this particular program, we are going to see that one. Okay, so the count, whatever I have loaded is 1F F0. So the count what I have loaded is 1F F0. So what you have to do is to calculate the delay produced, you have to take the maximum count. Okay, whatever the maximum count which is there in that particular mode, maximum count minus the given count, whatever I have loaded in TL and TH, that is going to be the given count. Then you have to add 1 to this one. Why we are going to add 1? Why? Because after maximum count is reached, one more extra pulse will be taken in order to roll over. For that reason, I am going to write over there plus 1, and then you have to multiply it with the machine cycle period or the clock period. So what is the clock period? It is equal to 1.085 microseconds. 1.085 microseconds. So let me calculate the delay which is going to be produced. Here in the mode 0, the maximum count is 1F FF. Okay, maximum count. The given count is 1F F0. The given count is 1F F0. Then I am going to add 1 to this one, multiplied by 1.085 microseconds. 1.085 microseconds. So if I subtract, then I am going to get F over there. F means 15. 15 plus 1, it's going to be 16. 16 into 1.085 microseconds. So whatever the value I am going to get after multiplying this, that much will be the time delay which is going to be produced. See, in this particular calculation, we have ignored all other instructions which are there in the program. I have concentrated over here only on the count which is loaded in TL and TH. Right? That means I am ignoring all other instructions, and I am concentrating, I am giving importance only for the loaded count which is there in TL and TH. So this is going to be the mode 0, and this is going to be the formula. Okay. See here, this particular formula is going to hold good only when the given crystal frequency is 11.0592 megahertz. Suppose if the crystal frequency is not equal to 11.0592 megahertz, then you have to calculate that particular period, and that particular value you are going to write over here. That's going to be the only change. So this is going to be the formula, like in order to calculate the delay produced, you have to take the maximum count in that particular mode. Here at least it is mode 0. So I have taken 1F FF. Suppose if it is mode 1, then I am going to write over here FF FF. Right? Minus the loaded count which is there in TL and TH plus 1. Why? Because it's going to take an extra pulse to roll over from the maximum count to the 0. And then you have to multiply it with the clock period. So the value whatever you are going to get, that is going to be the delay which is going to be produced with the help of this particular timer in a particular mode. Mode 0, mode 1, whatever it is. So this is going to be the explanation, how you are going to write the program, right, and how you are going to calculate the delay which is going to be generated. Okay, now mode 2 programming. We all know that mode 2 is a 8-bit timer. It's an 8-bit timer wherein the time delay which is going to be produced using this particular mode 2, it's going to be very small, right? 00 to FF, because it's an 8-bit, 00 to FF. The maximum count is going to be FF. But the main attraction of this particular mode 2 programming is it is having auto reloading facility. It's having auto reloading facility. What we are going to do over here, we are going to load the count in TH register, whether it is TH0 or TH1, whichever the timer I have used. You can take that particular TH and you are going to load the value in the TH, right? You are not going to load the value in the TL. Once when I load the value in the TH and when I start the timer operation, a copy of TH will be sent to TL and the content of TL is going to get changed, whereas TL is going to have the original value, right, the count. Right? Once when the counting begins in the TL and reaches the maximum value FF, and with the next pulse when it rolls over, the flag gets set. So that's what we have written over here in the mode 2 programming step. First step, which was there usually in mode 0 and mode 1, you have to load the value in the T mode in order to select the timer or the counter operation, software control or the hardware control, and in which particular mode you want to work. Now I want to work in mode 2, that too the timer, okay, for which I am going to write over here. You have to recall the bit pattern of the T mode. G C/T bar M1 M0, G C/T bar M1 and M0. Okay, say in order to make it mode 2 operation, I have to make mode M1 bit to be 1 and M0 to be 0. And say this is timer operation, so 0 0 1 0. That means I have selected say only one timer. Let me select, say I have selected timer 1 because the lower nibble is for timer 0 and the higher nibble is for the timer 1. I have selected timer 1 in mode 2. Timer 1 in mode 2. So you have to load T mode with this particular bit values. Okay, and then you have to load the initial value in the TH which should be less than FF because TH is a 8-bit register. THX, right? You have to load the value which should be less than FF. So the value will be loaded over here and then start the timer with the help of the instruction set the bit TRX. Set the bit TRX, start the timer, watch the flag till it gets set. Yav flag re TFX, where this particular TR and TF are, they are in the TCON register. So if TFX is having the status of 0, that means still the counting is going on, the internal clock pulses are being counted, and once if the TF flag gets set, it means that the timer has reached the maximum value, that is FF, and with the next pulse it has rollover. Rollover ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಈ flag ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ set ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ set ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ stop the timer and clear the timer flag timer flag clear ಮಾಡೇತಿರ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಯಾಕೆ 1 ಆಗಿದ್ದನ್ನ 0 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಏನು ರೀಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ 1 ಅಂತ ರೀಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So you have to clear the timer flag, and then if you want to repeat, then go back to this particular step 3. You have option over here. Suppose if you don't stop the timer, then no need to go back to step 3. You can go for the step 4. It is optional. Start ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಪೇ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ, ವಾಚ್ ದ ಫ್ಲಾಗಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಆಟೋ ರೀಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ. ಒನ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಡ್, automatically the value which is there in the TH will get loaded in the TL. So let me write the program for this one. The steps remains the same. Accordingly we are going to write the assembly language program. Okay, so here the first instruction, it is the directive ORG. Say let me write over here 00 hex origin, which is going to say that the program is beginning from 00 hex in the program memory. Okay, move in the tmod register, comma hash. ಇವಾಗ ಬಿಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿನಿ, ಟೈಮರ್ 1 ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿನಿ ಮೋಡ್ 2 ದೊಳಗೆ. ಸೊ 20 ಹೆಕ್ಸ್ 20 ಹೆಕ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ 00100000 ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಬೈನರಿ ಡಾಟಾ. ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಸಿಮಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ನು ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ಹೆಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ಬೈನರಿ ನಂಬರ್ನು ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ದೊಳಗೆ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ what? The hex value only. It is going to convert it in the hex value only. Okay, in the tmod register I have loaded 20x. That means I have selected timer 1 in mode 2. And then you have to load the value. Timer 1 select ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿನಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾ TH1 ಬರಿಬೇಕು. Timer 0 select ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾ TH0 ಬರಿಬೇಕು. Move TH1, hash. Certain value I am going to write over here. Say F0 hex. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು value ಬರ್ದೀನಿ which is less than FF. Okay, and then I have to start the timer. Set the bit ಯಾವುದು TR1, ಯಾಕೆ TH1 ಟೈಮರ್ 1 ತಗೊಂಡಿನಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ರನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು TR1 ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮರ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ವಿತ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಪಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತಿದ್ದು F1 F2 F3 ಕೌಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ವಾಚ್ the timer flag 1. It has to watch the timer flag 1 till it gets set. If it is not set, it should keep watching the flag. Okay, it should keep watching the flag. If the condition is satisfied, then it is going to loop over here. If the condition is not satisfied, then it is going to come out of the loop. So stop the timer. ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅದಿದು, ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದ ಟೈಮರ್ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. SJMP ಸೇ ಅಪ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ? ಅಪ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು, ಯಾಕೆ ಆಟೋ ರಿಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಅದ. ಸೊ ಈ ಅಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದ ಮೋಡ್ 2 ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್. ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾ ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಪೇ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ SJMP ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಟು ವಾಚ್ ದ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಪ್ ಬದಲಿ ನಾ ಏನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದ ಮೋಡ್ 2 ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್. How you are going to calculate the delay which is produced by mode 2 programming? See, the count which I have loaded is F0. Okay, let me take that particular value only. Delay which is produced is equal to what? The maximum count in mode 2 is FF minus the count whatever I have loaded, that is F0. Then add 1, multiply it with the machine period, that is 1.085 microseconds. So what is the difference over here? F is 15 plus 1, 16 into 1.085 microseconds. So this much is the delay which is going to be produced with the help of the mode 2 programming. So this is the speciality of the mode 2 programming is it's having auto reloading facility, and you have to load the initial value in the TH. If you stop the timer, then go back to start the timer. If you don't stop the timer, then don't go to start the timer. Instead, go again to watch the timer flag till it gets set. But one thing you should have in mind, you have to clear the flag once it gets set in the delay generation programming.